Well, I continue my conversations with the school district superintendents across Mason County, and now I'm at North Mason with Superintendent Dana Rosenbach. How you doing?
Great, how are you?
I'm so happy to be here and to talk with you and to expand these conversations out across the whole of Mason County. You know, I've had a lot of focused attention on the Shelton school districts, and I'm really excited now to be able to go out and visit everybody. How have things been going?
Well, you know, they've been going very well. We are in our third week of school, but our first full week. Each of the previous weeks were short days. So teachers are so glad to be back in class with their kids and see their students. And students are so excited to be there that it's heartwarming. It's wonderful. I got to participate in welcoming the littlest kids to school on the first day. And we didn't do our usual tunnel that we do with community members. You know, some things we can't do currently. But we were able to help kids find their classrooms, and it was so much fun.
One thing I've been hearing a lot from everybody is just the sounds of school, the sounds of the kids and everything. It's just great.
It really is. Even, you know, up here on the main campus, I'm surrounded by the middle school and high school, and I was in my office pretty much every day over the last 18 months, and it was so quiet up here, and it's really exciting to hear the kids coming off the buses and going to classes or walking by to do something, an activity. It's just makes it feel like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And speaking of doing what we're supposed to be doing, now we've got mask mandates and everything like that. How have the kids been able to compliance? All the other supers have all seemed to say the kids do pretty good at this.
The kids do an amazing job. They listen to the rules, they follow the rules, they keep those masks on. A lot of them are concerned for safety, and they're following the mask mandate for that reason. You know, some kids do have questions, or they and their families might have a different way of thinking, but they're being really respectful of following the rules that what we ask them to do while they're at school.
And again, the rules, and I've asked everybody this too, and I just want to make sure the rules are coming down when it comes to mask mandates and things like that. They're from the governor's level, the governor or the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction, Reichdahl's office, or maybe even the health department. It's not you as superintendent or the North Mason School District School Board.
No, it's not. This is not an area where local control is happening this year or in the last 18 months. We are required to follow the directives of the governor, the Department of Health, and OSPI, and those documents are very specific. We are required to expect everyone on campus in buildings right now or in groups of over 500 outside to be wearing masks at all times. And we are going to be required to require all employees to complete vaccines by October 18th.
And again, those were state mandates, not North Mason School District mandates.
Yes, those are state mandates.
How have those conversations been with the staff here?
Very reasonable. You know, we have staff who are requesting exemptions, and they are very articulate in explaining what their exemption is, you know, whether it's religious or medical, and we're able to have very professional conversations and figure out how we can accommodate that.
What are your thoughts, and how are we looking for the school year? My hope is that all the schools across the county here are going to be able to remain open all throughout the course of the year. But if something happens, or a classroom or one of the schools in the district has to pivot, tell me that process.
Yes, so all of us are working on plans. They're kind of always being worked on. They're never done for what decisions we'll make and when we'll make those. And it's a little bit different this year. I think going into last year, we had some very specific metrics about deciding when to close a classroom or a whole school, and those have faded away. Yeah. And so we are really reliant on our strong partnership with the County Department of Health. So if it appears that we have an outbreak in a classroom or in a school, we have that conversation. We're very engaged with the Department of Health. Okay, here's what the numbers look like. Here's how close people are. Here's where we think the contacts are, because we're now responsible for doing all our own contact tracing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll engage with them in what decisions that we need to make, and then we'll engage with staff and parents and all of our stakeholders and say, okay, here's where we are, here's what needs to happen.
Well, how's the rest of the Bulldog family doing? I mean, what are we thinking for the rest of this whole school district? What are some of the highlights, if we can get to them, over the course of the year? What would you like to accomplish?
Well, we have a great plan, different at each of our buildings, for really meeting kids' needs individually. We've been working on a multi-tiered systems of support, MTSS, for about almost 5 years now, and we have amazingly specific plans to get down to the nitty-gritty for what does each kid need to be successful. And we're ready to put those in place. We're starting to put those in place. It resulted in very different scheduling at the middle school, different kinds of supports at the high school, differences in scheduling at the elementary schools, and additional supports. We are fortunate to have received some temporary, one-time only, federal funds to support us in this process, and we're really focusing those on providing additional supports to help kids. We don't want to say catch up because, they were learning things.
Yeah.
They were just maybe not learning the same things. So help them get the skills and knowledge that they need to be successful moving forward, and make sure that they have everything they need. And so one of the really cool things, I think, is in talking about equity in a community like ours, and equity is very important in everything that we talk about in the schools or in the community, in the state right now. We're really looking at not a group of kids or this group or that group, but every individual student. What does every student need to be successful? And it's our responsibility to do the best that we can, working with their parents and the community and all of the resources that we have to make sure.
I think about it, there's so much of our lives that we can hyper personalize, our news feeds or our selection of music and things like that. It only makes sense that gets moved into an educational model.
It really does.
That's pretty cool. Well, one thing that I have learned just over talking with all the superintendents is just the passion for the education, the passion for the kids is here in Mason County for sure. And it's great to hear the different ideas and things that the different districts are talking about. I know you guys all talk to each other a lot, so it's really encouraging, and I'm really excited for this whole school year in Mason County. As I'm up here at North Mason in the school district with Superintendent Rosenbach, and I continue my series as I go around and talk with all the superintendents at their district offices and their schools. Thank you.
Thank you.